Hi, this is the fifth and last in a series of videos about ILO rights at work, and the topic for this video is safe and healthy environment. What is a safe and healthy environment? Let us examine the elements. First is safe, which means that hazards are eliminated, or if not possible, at least these hazards are minimized. Health includes the physical and mental elements which are directly related to safety and hygiene at work. So take note, hindi lang physical ang kasama dito, kasama pati ang mental. Work environment refers to all places where workers need to be by reason of their work. So ibig sabihin, hindi yan nakalimit sa premises ng kumpanya. Kahit dun sa labas ng kumpanya, basta related sa work nila. Pero merong qualifier pa, which are under the direct or indirect control of the employer. So for example, kung ang trabaho ng tao ay meet the reader, ang employer niya ay hindi na makokontrol yung conditions na nandoon pag siya ay nagbabasa ng meter. Kaya, for example, yung mga aso na pwedeng humabol sa kanya at kagatin siya, hindi na yun makakontrol ng kanyang employer. Kaya hindi kasama yung aspect na yon sa work environment. What are the facts and figures related to work safety? So tingnan natin, ano ba yung situation? First, 2.93 million workers die each year as a result of work-related factors. Imaginin mo yan. Almost 3 million ang namamatay. Next, 395 million workers worldwide sustain a non-fatal work injury each year. Hindi namatay pero nasaktan. At kung minsan, yung injury na yon ay nagproproduce pa ng disability which may even be lifelong. And what makes this even worse is when we look at it from the perspective na itong mga deaths na to, saka mga injuries na ito ay preventable. Kung meron lang sanang ginawa na karapat-dapat ay hindi sana namatay o nasaktan itong mga workers na ito. 2.41 billion, billion yan ha, workers are exposed to excessive heat each year. And 361 billion US dollars could be saved globally by implementing improved safety health measures to prevent excessive heat in the place. So, makakasave sana ng pera, ang daming pera, 361 billion, kung nag-implement lang ng measures para ma-reduce ang heat. Kasi dahil dun sa heat na yon, nagkaroon ng mga injuries. At heat pa lang yan, ha? Hindi pa kasama yung mga ibang factors na nagkukos ng death o ng injury. What are the hazards and risks in the work environment? First, biological hazards. Bacteria, viruses, parasites, fungi, and other microorganisms in workplaces such as hospitals, labs, and sewage and garbage treatment plants. So, pwedeng magkasakit yung employee dahil sa exposure dito sa hazards na to. Hazardous substances, which are chemical in nature. Examples are pollutants, dust, vapors, and fumes. And there are about 1 million deaths each year due to exposure to hazardous chemicals. So, 1 milyon, imagine mo yan, ganon karami. Sa physical hazards naman, kasama ang noise. Noise can damage hearing. Yung hearing loss na to, pwedeng temporary or permanent. So, for example, mayroong malakas na explosion at hindi protected yung ears ng employee, then ang possibility ay magkakaroon siya ng temporary hearing loss. Pero kung paulit-ulit or prolonged ang exposure to loud noises, then the hearing loss can be permanent kasi nadadamage na talaga yung mga receptors dun sa ears. Physical hazards can also include radiation. Examples of this are ionizing radiation, kasama dyan ng X-rays, and radiation from radioactive material. For instance, yung mga radioactive implants na nilalagay sa loob ng katawan ng pasyente kasi meron silang cancer. Non-ionizing radiation includes UV and infrared light. Ano bang epekto ng radiation? Nadadamage yung mga cells ng isang tao na naka-expose sa radiation, kaya ang possibility ay magkakaroon siya ng disease, disability, or even death. Physical hazards can also take the form of vibration. This can be short duration exposure that may cause temporary disability, pero pag prolonged or repeated ang exposure, pwede na magkaroon ng permanent damage. Anong mga parte ng katawan ang na-expose sa vibration? Commonly, the hands and the arms. Yung may hawak ng vibrating na instrument or equipment. Pero pwede rin ang whole body vibration pag yung tao ay nakapatong sa isang area na nagva-vibrate. So, yung buong katawan niya ay na-expose dun sa vibration. Sa electricity naman, which is also a form of physical hazard, the main risks are electric shock and burns. In turn, electric shock can also lead to other types of injury. For example, yung tao ay nandoon sa poste o nasa scaffolding o kaya siya ay nasa ladder tapos nagkaroon siya ng electric shock. So, siya ay bumagsak, magkakaroon siya ngayon ng injury na aside from yung burns niya caused by electricity ay baka magkaroon pa siya ng fracture, di ba? Physical hazards can also include extreme temperatures. Exposure to heat may lead to burns or heat stress. Ano ba itong heat stress na to? Examples of these are heat stroke and heat exhaustion. And then, accidents may also happen due to sweaty palms. Pinapawisan yung kamay ng worker kaya dumulas yung hawak-hawak niya at dahil dito ay na-aksidente siya. Fogged up goggles. Pawis na pawis siya, kaya yung kanyang goggles ay nag-fog up, hindi na niya nakita masyado kung ano ang kanyang ginagawa at na-aksidente siya dahil dito. On the other hand, extreme cold may lead to frostbite. Commonly, ang exposed dito ay yung mga fingers and toes at nadadamis ito na in some instances ay kailangan pa ng amputation. Or the person may develop hypothermia, sobrang bagsak ang kanyang body temperature and this can turn fatal. Hindi lang physical ang hazards, kasama rin dito ang psychosocial. This may be related to any aspect of work, including workload, such as masyadong maraming trabaho, o kaya masyadong mabilis ang demand sa output, konti pa lang yung time na inalat, kailangan ay submit mo na kasi deadline na. Or masyadong mataas ang standards na sinet na impossible na ma-meet mo yung standards na yon. What about job security? Sigurado ka ba na may trabaho ka pa bukas or next month? Relationships, harmonious ba yung relationships dun sa kumpanya? Or meron bang harassment? Meron bang bullying? Organizational culture, supportive ba yung kultura within the work environment? Or kanya-kanya ba? O meron bang crab mentality? Naghihilahan pababa? Open ba yung communication na kahit ikaw ay nasa lower level ay pwede kang mag-comment o magbigay ng suggestion o mag-criticize constructively sa mga ginagawa ng nando sa upper level? And homework interface, may pakialam ba yung employer dun sa impact ng trabaho dun sa home and family? Such as for example, pag meron ba mga special occasions sa kailangang attendan ng employee, kasi kunwari gagraduate yung kanyang anak, i-allow ba siya na mag-take ng leave? Or hindi pwede kasi palagi na yung kumpanya ang dapat na kinoconsider lang. Now, what actions does the ILO require in relation to a safe and healthy work environment? First, sa mga employers. Employers are required to ensure that workplaces, machinery, and equipment are safe. So, syempre, kailangan yan. Employers are also required to provide adequate protective clothing and equipment when needed. For example, yung mga exposed sa biological hazards na employees ay dapat na pro-providean ng PPEs. Employers are required to provide for measures to deal with emergencies and accidents. For example, meron bang company nurse or alam ba ng key personnel ang first aid or meron na bang mga protocols na in place na just in case magkaroon ng accident, ito ang dapat na sundin para kung in case nagkaroon talaga ng accident, hindi na nagpapanik yung mga tao kasi alam na nila kung ano ang dapat na gawin. What about the workers? Workers naman should receive adequate information on measures taken by the employer to secure occupational safety and health. Pwedeng yan ay diretso galing sa employer, such as merong mga memos, may mga announcements, o pwede na yung representatives ng workers ang nag-provide ng information sa kanila. Workers should be enabled to inquire into and be consulted on all aspects of occupational safety and health associated with their work. Dapat ine-encourage silang magtanong, ine-encourage sila na magbigay ng input tungkol sa occupational safety na related sa trabaho nila. Because after all, they're the best sources of information kasi sila yung nandun sa ground at sila ang naaapektuhan nitong mga practices or conditions related to occupational safety and health. So, pag ikaw ay may-ari ng kumpanya at pinagbawalan mo yung mga tao na magtanong tungkol sa occupational safety, then nawawalan ka ng important source of information. Workers should receive training on occupational safety and health. Isa ito sa mga priorities pag na-hire ang isang employee, especially pag ang place niya ay potentially na magkakaroon ng hazards kung hindi marunong ang mga employees in keeping themselves safe. Tapos, itong training na to ay kailangan periodically na naa-update kasi kung minsan may mga bago na mga practices eh. Or kahit walang bagong practices, kailangan pa rin ng periodic na retraining kasi kung minsan nagiging complacent. Yung bang binabaliwala na yung mga safety practices, kailangan ng periodic na retraining para, again, mamomotivate sila. To keep in mind, the safety practices are important. Report to his immediate supervisor any situation which he believes presents an imminent and serious danger to his life. So pag meron siya na-observe na ganong situation, i-report niya kaagad kasi under threat siya at ang kanyang mga kasama. Ngayon, ano naman ang dapat na gawin ng supervisor? Kailangan mag-investigate at kung kinakailangan ay i-clear yung area at wag silang payagan na bumalik unless tapos na yung threat. We have seen what employers should do and what workers should do. What about what employers and workers should do? They should cooperate with each other to secure occupational safety and health. After all, the issue of occupational safety and health is not the responsibility of a single party. It is the responsibility of everyone who is in the company. So yan ang safe and healthy work environment. Please click the subscribe button.